Hi everyone, this is the second video related to carbon cycling, and I'm going to talk about peat formation. Okay, so what is peat? Peat is a highly effective carbon sink. It is estimated that the world's peat contains 550 gigatons of carbon, and this is the Topila peat-fired power plant in Oulu, Finland. Okay, once dried, peat burns easily and can be used as fuels. If peat is forming as a dry material, then it can be used as a fuel as well. That's another usage of peat. Let's see how the peat is formed. This is a simple step for showing how the peat is formed. In many parts of the world, dead leaf matter, okay, and other organic debris, so leaf matters and organic debris, are digested by saprotrophs, right? This is what saprotrophs are doing. Digestion in the outside, not the inside. If it was inside, that was ingestion. So this is aerobic process. This means that it requires air and oxygen. However, there are some waterlogged areas where the stagnant water creates an anaerobic environment in which the saprotrophs cannot grow. When it is anaerobic, then saprotrophs cannot grow anymore. So the key point is in a waterlogged area, which makes situation as an anaerobic. The result is an environment that becomes progressively acidified over time. So once the time is passing, it becomes more acidified. And then any surviving saprotrophs die, and then the remaining organic matter is only partially digested. So partially digestion. And then the new layers of leaf litter and other organic debris fall on top of this older layer of material, and with the further compressing, it becomes peat. And peat exists across wide areas of our planet and can reach depth of 10 meter depth. This is my website. It is suggested that you go and have a look at information on this page. I'm strongly suggesting you to read. Here we go, and the peat formation with a kind of diagram. And again, the same thing, the same explanation, which is showing in the graph as well. In soil, organic matter like dead leaves are digested by saprotroph, bacteria, and fungi, and then saprotroph assimilates some carbon for growth and releases carbon dioxide during aerobic respiration, right? And then waterlogged soils are an anaerobic environment, and in this anaerobic environment, saprotrophs and methanogens are inhibited. They cannot grow and they cannot do anymore. And in this situation, then the organic matter is only partially decomposed. When the saprotrophs and methanogens are inhibited, then we have only the partial digestion. And once we have the partial digestion, this arrow could go from this way as well. So partial decomposition causes acidic condition, and this acidic condition again causes the situation in which the saprotrophs and methanogens are inhibited. They cannot grow, right? And this partial decomposition from the other side is creating large quantity of organic matter building up, and then it ends finally to organic matter, which is compressed and to form as peat. So this partially decomposed material will become peat after compression, right? This is a really nice diagram. So peat has several uses as a substitute for firewood for cooking and heating. That was the picture I showed you before in Finland. That is used as a fuel. To increase the moisture holding capacity of soil, rich in sand particle in horticulture. Probably you have seen peat in the horticulture. If even for once you have tried to do some gardening, probably you have seen that peat that you have ordered by I don't know where, but I have seen that many times. You can buy peat. To increase the water infiltration rate of soils rich in clay particles. While the soils are rich in clay particle, because clay makes it very condensed, and then the peat combination with those type of soil makes it a little more infiltrated, having more spaces. To acidify soils for specific pot plants. It makes it more acidified if you use peat as well. Here we go and see how this peat formation will end up in the formation of the coal. So coal is formed when deposits of peat are buried under other sediments. These are the peat already formed, and this deposit of peat is compressed and with the heat and heated over a million years, eventually it become coal. So peat under heat and the pressure over the time, then finally will end up with the production of the coal. The cycle of sea level changes that happened during the Carboniferous period caused coastal swamps to be buried, promoting the formation of coal. And this is how it shows the cycle of the sea level goes to create the coal at the end. Alright, let's answer some of the multiple choice questions. Methanogens are archaea that are... Pause the video. Alright. Yes, this is the correct choice. Anaerobic organisms that obtain energy through the synthesis of methane. This is a short question. List one condition required in waterlogged soils for peat formation. There might be several conditions. You just call one. Alright, acidic condition or low pH, anaerobic condition, absence of oxygen. All of these can be your answer. Lack of oxygen and these. And the answer explanation to peat, for peat formation, conditions should prevent degradation. The two required conditions are low pH and then anaerobic condition. Right, the next topic is oil and gas formation, which is related to peat formation. Oil and gas formation occurred in ancient oceans. Alright, if you look at the ocean, in 300 to 400 million years ago, that there were a lot of different types of sea plants and animals, and once they are dying, they are buried on the ocean floor, and over the time they were covered by layers of silt and sand. So over the time, And if it is 300, 400 million years ago, and then like 50 to 100 million years ago, which means after like 300 million years ago, then over the time, these are the plants and animal remains, and these are the sand and silt. So this is what's happening. Over millions of years, the remains are buried deeper and deeper, and the enormous heat and pressure turned them into oil and gas. The mixture of different types of oil and gas is the result of complex chemical changes, and methane forms the largest part of natural gas. All right? So oil and gas formation occurred in ancient oceans. So the same thing we talked about peat formation. The same we talked about coal formation. Oil and gas formation is following the same way, in which the similar process happens at the bottom of the lake and ocean, in which there are anaerobic conditions, and in this environment it creates or it leaves the decomposition unfinished. So it provides the situation that decomposition or decomposers cannot do a complete decomposing, so it's unfinished. And the subsequent pressure and the heat allow for certain chemical changes to take place, in which over the long periods it turns into oil and gas. So the partially decomposed organic matter from past geological eras was converted either into coal, or oil and gas. And these are accumulating in porous rocks. The three forms of carbon-based fuels are chemically stable for long periods of time. The fuel deposits that we use today were formed a long time ago, and that is why they are referred to as fossil fuels. All right. Coal, the first one, can be found in thick layers beneath the surface. Oil and gas are found in porous rock, although it is not in a gaseous form. So even we call gas, but gas is a form of gaseous form, it's liquid. And gas reservoirs. Gas reservoirs are found deep in the earth under high pressure conditions that will maintain the gas in a liquid form. So this is the three main fossil fuels that we have already studied. Here is a short video. This is the link. I'm putting this link in the managed bag in the future or later, so you can watch it better. Here is a peat fire in Canada. The carbon trapped in the fossil fuels was removed from the atmosphere many million years ago, but burning fossil fuels, whether by accident, such as peat fire as you see over here, or purposefully to drive engines, releases carbon in the form of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. So this carbon dioxide, who has been trapped for millions of years, can be back to the atmosphere, and this is the reason for current situation of having carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. There are other ways in which carbon trapped in biomass is released back into the atmosphere. Forest fires release enormous amounts of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. As such, the combustion of any form of biomass releases carbon dioxide back into the environment, as biomass is mostly organic in nature. So any types of forest fire and a combustion of any form of biomass can release the carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. Here we go, multiple choice. Which of the following is a reservoir for carbon? Pause the video. Right, all of the answers, all of the answer options. The next topic is related to calcium carbonate. Some animals secrete calcium carbonate structures to protect themselves. For example, shells of mollusks or hard coral exoskeletons. These are those types of animals. When the animals die, the soft body parts decompose, but the calcium carbonate remains to form deposits on the ocean floor, right? So what you can see as a deposit of calcium carbonate is after death of these types of animals. The deposits are buried and compressed eventually. These are forming limestone rock, and imprints of the hard body parts remain in rock as fossils. And limestone rock is a huge carbon. Another slide related to calcium carbonate. Most people would not consider calcium carbonate as a source of carbon, but calcium carbonate is widely found throughout the nature, in the shells of mollusks and in the exoskeleton of hard corals. And when these die, the calcium carbonate becomes a part of sedimentary rock. And if the conditions are not too acidic, just be careful about this. Calcium carbonate, sedimentary rock includes limestone. So calcium carbonate makes the sedimentary rocks, which includes the limestone. All right, and the condition is not too acidic. Be careful about this point. Considering that limestone is composed of approximately 12% carbon, these limestone formations lock up a large amount of carbon. Okay, and this picture is related to a white cliffs of Dover in the United Kingdom. It contains large deposit of limestone. Many fossils, such as shells of mollusks, can be found in this deposit as the origin of the limestone. This is an example. This calcium carbonate dissolves in acid, but not in alkaline solutions. Most of our oceans are slightly alkaline. Okay, so creating the right conditions for formation of limestone rock. If it was alkaline, if it was acidic, then this calcium carbonate would be dissolved. It is estimated that 10% of all sedimentary rock on Earth consists of limestone. Another multiple choice question, pause the video. For the formation of limestone rocks from the shells of mollusks and the exoskeleton of corals, the conditions should be, right, you got it right, slightly alkaline. I just insisted on that part.